Welcome. This is Jason Moreno. I'm a senior security solutions consultant with Quest Software. And today we're going to be picking up with installation of or connection to your Entra ID tenant. In a previous video, and why you're seeing all of this information here, we have collected or have configured the on-premise Active Directory agent. So if you're doing these videos in a different order and you're wondering why I'm seeing all this here and you're not, you will need to either connect or configure your hybrid agent or Bloodhound Enterprise. Either one could be used as your agent of truth or service of truth in terms of collecting tier 0 objects. So we'll put a bookmark in that discussion and let us get you set up and configured with your Entra ID collector. You can click this button. There's a couple of ways of doing this. It'll basically open a new tab and bring you to tenants and add a tenant. So don't let that throw you. I'm going to go within the same actual interface. I'm just going to go directly to it. And before I do, I also want to point out there's a very helpful user guide. All you have to do is click on the information, and we're going to be using that very shortly. So I'm going to go to tenants, and you'll see I'm going to click add tenant. For our purposes, we're going to be setting up a commercial or GCC tenant for this. And we'll go ahead, and the next step I wanted to call out is you will need global administrator. Now, we'll put the brakes on right here and explain why. So I'm going to go over to the Security Guardian user guide. It's online. So once you click that eye or information icon on the Security Guardian dashboard, it will bring you out here. And I've already picked out a few sections from the user guide to help you out. So what we're going to do is set up core and collectors, and we're going to need to grant consent to the global administrator as well as audit basic. And I'm going to help do that today. What you need to do is understand that we're using your global administrator account to provide application access in Entra. So instead of you having to go the long route of configuring and checking off boxes and making sure you've set it all up in the enterprise section of the enterprise application section of the Entra console, you're giving global administrator this one-time access so that we can do that for you moving forward. And if you need to know more information about what consent and why we're doing this, it is automatically and listed throughout the guide in different sections. And you will see in the final section here, I'm showing you how, or if I was say to remove Security Guardian, I don't know why I would, but let's just say I was, this at least shows you if you went into the Entra console, enterprise applications, all applications, search on Quest on demand, and you can go in and delete them. And that's what we're doing. We're automating this process for you, getting that token, that one-time permission token, so that we can connect Quest on Demand's environment, the SaaS environment here, with your Entra or multiple Entra tenants. So I already have an account. Now, you're going to fill that out, and you're probably going to get the pop-up for multi-factor. I have already logged in, so I don't have to do it right now. But once you go ahead and put your multi-factor in and approve the connection using a global admin account, service account, you will get to this next page. And you can see all we're doing is collecting a lot of read information. We're giving ourselves the ability to read the information and pull it back. And that part is now complete. That was simple, right? But we need to edit more consents. So let's do that right now. Remember I said basic, core, and collector. So we're going to have to grant consent. You'll see it right behind here. I'll go back to it in a second. And yes, once again, reading groups, reading usage reports, basically logs. We're going to pull back. Here you can see this application is required to read Entra ID information for the on-demand SaaS platform. Okay, and then the other thing we're going to be doing, this application records audit events from Entra ID. Some customers might have licensing or paid for licensing to audit also Office 365, so I'll just point that out here. It is not a part of Security Guardian. It is a separate license. However, it uses the same connector. The consent granted with this application allows on-demand audit to read audit data from the tenant, such as audit logs, identity risk event information, and so on. So we need to also connect that account. Once again, it's reading all of that information and it's now setting up that connection. So on the back end in your Entra environment, we have now provided it Security Guardian or Quest On Demand solution the ability to read all the information we need. Now we're going to jump over, we'll go back. You'll see I have 3 granted now. That's what I need. So if you don't have 3 here, then you need to go back and re-grant consent somewhere that you missed. So let's walk over to audit. Now, I'm going to pause here just to save some time. If audit is not here, it's under security. So you might see security audit. And if that's where it is for you, we're going to be moving it shortly. So if you don't have audit back here as a separate tab, that's okay. It falls under Security Guardian, and in its initial configuration, it has been set up in 2 separate places. What we're going to do is go to Configuration. We're going to click on Microsoft Entra, Audit Events, and Sign-in Events. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. Okay, now that you've hit save, you should have checked off audit logs and sign-ins for Microsoft Entra. Let's go back over to security. And once again, if audit is under security when you're watching this video, that's fine. If yours is still outside, that's fine too. You just know that if you're missing audit on this toolbar over here, just look under here, it'll be here. So now when I go in to dashboard, I will see that the Entra collector is configured properly. So I always want to come back here and double check. Now it's in the process of probably doing a data collection, and therefore, well, it's already finished. So it has done its data collection. And it will show up in the dashboard over here when Security Guardian is finished analyzing the data that it has collected. Outside of that, you are finished and completed. Your data will show up here under uncertified privileged objects. And if you need to know what that is, we have these helpful little eyes in the circle here for information to learn more. And it will also show over here once it's finished processing. I want to thank you for joining me again on the continuing connection for Security Guardian and your onboarding experience. Thank you.